everybody. It's so nice to meet you. I'm so happy to be here. I like really, I feel lucky that I can share my story just because I wouldn't want it to just happen to me and not be able to share that kind of cool magic that I experienced with the help of Shimmery. Just a little background. I met Shimmery. It must be close to a year, but I've been working with her for maybe like 8 or 9 months. And when I first came to her, I had been starting to transition away from my old career and job. I worked in news for over 25 years, and it was very hard. And for a long time, I wanted something else, and I didn't have any goals. I just was kind of in this paradigm of like overworking, being exhausted, being unhappy. And then I got laid off, but it was actually a blessing in disguise because it got me on my path to kind of move away from being in a place I didn't want to be. And through thinking and results and all my studies with Shimmery, I realized that there was an easier way and a better way to do things than killing myself. I started practicing the stuff we were learning in the lessons, and which is the kind of the praxis thing that we were talking about today. But I started really using my imagination, and I tried it. Just I would be the last person in the world that thought I would be doing this kind of thing, but there I was, and I got a job that I had kind of imagined and envisioned, and it was like what I always wanted, a normal job, and I could work from home most of the time, and it wasn't killing me, and it's just completely been so life-changing. My kind of mid-level goals was, all right, I'm making much less than I did before, so that's something that I needed to work on. And one of the things I was like, well, since it worked so well manifesting the job of my dreams, I with Shimmery's help, and through the whole time, she gives me like a list, kind of like a doctor would give a prescription for their patients. Do this and this, gets me through kind of like the dip. And then I said, okay, I'm gonna for some reason I just thought, trying to solve my money problem, I'm gonna from my old job that I got fired from, I don't even know how it popped into my head, but I thought I'm gonna imagine that I got a bonus. And I literally left this job. It's almost 1 year. And I just got it in my head, I'm gonna get a bonus from there, my old job. And I thought about it. Maybe it was like a week, I think, but I just really just immersed myself in this idea that I was getting a bonus. I imagined it. I imagined, seeing it in my bank account. I imagined going out and celebrating with my family. I'm like, I just did it. And the other day I had a feeling like I should check my bank account. Like, do I have money in it? But I didn't. I was afraid to, because I thought, well, if it's not there, I'll be disappointed. But then the next day in the mail, I got a slip from my old company, and I had gotten a bonus, and it was just maybe 2% away from the amount I had imagined in my head. It was just like so crazy. I was like screaming, and my family was like, okay, that's crazy. But we went out and we celebrated. We had dinner just like I had in my imagination. It was amazing. And even that, it made me so happy because it was just more evidence that like we can actually do this with the right tools and the right education, I think. And so it was really exciting. And then it's been like the best part about it is sharing my story. It's been really exciting sharing it with a few people in the last week that I think it's really inspired. That to me is even like worth more gold. Just I can't even explain it, but it's possible, and it's amazing, and there's tools out there, and and I'm really grateful to Shimmery because she's kind of been like my guiding light this whole time in helping me, setting me off in the right kind of direction to do it. I read Think and Grow Rich. I didn't ever even hear of any of this stuff. I don't know what rock I was living under, but I did not know anything. And I read that book, random stuff led me to that book. And then that book, that's when I started to realize all this other stuff out there. But with after I got laid off, I felt it. Like even though it was scary and I thought the old me would have not done this, there was something about like, I've never spent money on myself. And, but for some reason, I just knew it was made perfect sense. I mean, you think about how much money you spend on college and I'm like, I don't know that it was, like college, you know what I mean? Like I didn't learn not even a fraction. Like if I had gone to college and learned all this stuff, like, oh my gosh, I'd be in such a different place right now. But so it was just, it felt like a lot, but it really, at the end of the day, it didn't feel like a lot because like you said, I knew it was an investment in the future, which I hadn't really been ever doing before that. Even though it's an investment, it's so much more pleasant and lovely and easier to do it this way. My life is so different than it was when I started this thinking into results thing. Like I didn't even imagine I could have this. So yeah, it's worth it.